welcome to this week's reading vlog. I don't have any update. I haven't started a new book yet. I haven't even decided what I'm going to read next. I am currently uploading my weekly reading vlog for last week, and I realized I forgot to talk about one book that I finished in November. It was in that week that I finished it, and I only realized it when I was looking at my November wrap-up, because this is my last reading vlog for November, and so I was looking at all of these. I was like, wait, I'm missing something. I didn't talk about a book. I forgot to talk about Daddy I Don't Want to Marry. This is a Korean light novel, and I finished it pretty much in one day. It is a really quick read, and the story is not far from finished, but this is only the volume 1 that has been released. Volume 2 is available for download and to read online, but it doesn't have a physical copy yet, and I don't want to read it yet. Like right now, I do want to read it sometime, but right now it's not in my list. The original novel is finished, just the translation isn't done yet. So this also has a manhwa that is out that I'm currently reading. The manhwa is ahead of the English translations that I've read so far from volume 1. So I am interested in reading this one. I really enjoyed this one. But again, it's not finished, so even though I had a lot of fun, it's not a complete story yet. But I like where the story is going, or like where I know the story is going, so it's a really super enjoyable read. Again, it's a Korean light novel translated, and yeah, I don't know why I forgot to talk about it. Maybe it's because it's one of those things that I started on a whim and I finished it like super quickly because it's super short. So yeah, that's it for right now. Again, I'm gonna look over at the TBR that I have for this month, which is huge and includes a lot of like really thick books, which you guys have or should have already seen, because I already have that video uploaded at the start of this week. So I decided to pick up Where Dreams Descend by Janella. I'm using a book jacket, so you can't see it. But the beginning was a little bit rocky. I think it's because the writing is a little bit different than what I've been reading, but now I'm really invested in it. There hasn't been much in terms of world building, but it's not confusing. It's that kind of world building where so far we only know what we need to know. So I feel like there's a lot more into the details that we will need to know and we will be told eventually. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it right now. There's already so much happening, and I'm only like 90%, 20% of the way through. It's really hard to remove it from this jacket, but I'll show it to you next time I update, because it's the Owl Crate special edition that is so pretty, naked hardback. So I want to show it to you. I've shown it in my end of the year TBR video, which is already up. Yeah, that's my update for right now. Really enjoying it, and I really have high hopes for this one, and I'm just really excited to really get into it. Hello. So I am a little over halfway through Where Dreams Descend, and I'm really enjoying this one. They're, again, very like minimal, slow world building throughout the book. We only need to know what it is that we need to know, but I don't feel the world lacking at all. The magic is pretty unexplained, but to me doesn't feel like it needs an explanation. I'm just really having so much fun with this one. The descriptions of the different, magic tricks that she does and the magic things that she does are so well done. I think I just really am enjoying this one. It feels like I'm really watching like a show, like in my head, as I read it. This is like one of those books that will translate really great on screen. So I'm, again, really enjoying this one, having a lot of fun. So hopefully, I don't know if I'm gonna finish it tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a long day for me for work, and on top of filming and editing my videos, so the videos that I need to post. But apart from that, I'm really enjoying this one, and yeah, I'm just having so much fun. And the characters, especially our main character Kalia, she is so fun to follow because she's tough. She's gone through so much, especially again in the beginning of this book, realizing what has been happening to her and what has been done to her as well. Just her confidence, but also her being scared and knowing that she's running from someone. Her confidence in her powers, in her magic, but we also see her vulnerable and scared as she, works through and experiences really traumatic things. So yeah, I'm really enjoying her character, and I'm also really liking her dynamic with her assistant, Eris. I really like him. And our love interest DeMarco. I knew I would like him. He's like that grumpy, cold, not really cold, but like just grumpy and rough kind of guy. His dynamic with her being like this really confident, sexy woman, especially in this city, Glorian, where it's very conservative in terms of like dressing and their like views on women and where and what they should be doing, etc. I really like him getting flustered and just, getting irritated by her, but also attracted. Like, you can definitely tell, like, in the beginning, they're both super attractive to each other, which is so much fun to read. So, we'll see how much I'm gonna read tomorrow, but I'm just having so much fun with this one. So, I wouldn't be so surprised if I finish this faster than I expect. So, even though I'm super busy. Hello, today's Thursday, and I just finished Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angeles. I loved it so much. Now, the thing about this book is that I didn't get any answers really to what's really happening in Glorian, in the city, and what really is the secret. And I feel like it's all just a build up to what's going to happen in the second book, which is, I'm gonna read right after this one. I really enjoyed this one. With that being said, even though we didn't get a reveal, even though we didn't really get a hint of the secret, well, there's some hints of the secret, but I still don't know really what is the secret and what is the mystery in this city and what's going on. This book, it's plot-wise, there's still so much things happening. I feel like these are all kind of clues to the reveal on the second book, hopefully. I just had a lot of fun reading this one. It's like the type of book that you could easily imagine turning into a TV show or like a movie. I really, really enjoyed this one. The writing is beautiful. The characters are they're so complex and they feel real, even though we still have a lot of secrets from them or about them that we don't know about. The plot is compelling, even though, again, there was no reveal at all at the end. But oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so good. Also, I really love the romance. They're so good together. I mean, right at the beginning, I knew that they were gonna have a really good dynamic. Just them, DeMarco being a more mellow, quiet, calm type of person, while Kalia is more passionate, fiery kind of person. It's just, they're like the perfect combination, and I love them together. I love them both separately. I need to know more about DeMarco though, because he definitely has a lot of secrets as well. So, gonna go read it when night breaks now. Hello, so this is still the same day. I'm just updating because reviews on Where Dreams Descend, and I can see why a lot of people are frustrated with it, because like I said earlier, we don't get any like answers to what was happening, and the world building was enough that the story isn't confusing in terms of what's happening. Really, it is confusing in terms of why it's happening. We get a lot of questions, but we don't get answers. And if you look at the book, there is a map at the beginning, and the story has so far only taken place in two places: the Hellfire House and the city of Glorian, and a little bit in the forest that surrounds it. But we don't even experience the forest that much. Only when Kalia escaped and on her way to Glorian. So it's like very confined to the city for the majority of the book, and even the story feels confined in terms of like what's happening, because we have this large country with different cities and we don't really hear mentions of these other cities. And I think that's part of the mystery of Glorian as a city. It's closed off, right? If you look at the map, it's literally in the middle of the dire woods, which is a very dangerous forest that not a lot of people venture into, and whenever they do, they're very, very careful, because a lot of people get lost, or when they leave the dire woods, they are not in the right minds anymore. It's very, very confined. It is a little bit confusing as to why the world is bigger in terms of like the map itself. So I'm gonna show you. This world is set in this town, right? In this country, right? And literally Glorian is right here, okay? Hellfire House is right here, this tiny dot. And this is the dire woods. And it all takes place here. Like, all these parts of the world isn't mentioned, or if they were mentioned, it's only in passing. And we don't really know like the world itself, like how it works, like the government, the way of living of people. Not really. Again, it's very, very confined to glory, and I think it's part of the entire lore of the story, in that it's this mysterious city in the middle of nowhere. And I don't want to say anything spoilery because it's a reveal at the end that I only kind of got when it was mentioned. I was like, that's right. That's why I kind of had questions about the world as well. Like, why is it so confined in this one? And why don't we get any mentions of any other things? We're so caught up in the competition that's happening, and obviously of Kalia's story. And I feel like that's also part of the narrative, in that we don't really like think about other things outside of what's happening here. It's really hard to say it without spoiling anything, but I understand why a lot of people are really confused and really disappointed with this one and wanted answers, because we literally get nothing at the end. We really get nothing at the end of the story, just a few reveals, and even then it's not really explained how those kinds of reveals work, kind of thing. So yeah, hopefully in When Night Breaks it's going to get explained, because those are the questions that we need answered, and it won't be a disappointment. But I'm still looking forward to reading. I'm obviously looking forward to reading When Night Breaks, especially picking up where it left off on Where Dreams Descend, and just looking for answers as well, and finding out what happens to Kalia and DeMarco, because I just need them together back again. So yeah, just some thoughts before I go to sleep, and I will see you guys when I update. Hopefully I'll update tomorrow, we'll see. Yeah. Hello, today is Friday, and I don't really have much of an update with When Night Break because I'm only 100 pages the way through, and that's less than a fourth of the way through, honestly. I just want to add on to my last update, because I feel like now, kind of processing it, I fully understand the frustration of a lot of the readers have with the first book ending with more questions than answers, like even more questions than any answer at all, because you have to wait a year for the next book to be released. And especially in this case, the first book was released August of 2020, and this one was released October of 2021, so it's more than a year of wait, actually. And I could understand the frustration, because now you literally don't have any answers or like any kind of, I guess, motivation to go to the second book. But I really like that here we are starting with answers, because I feel like if we had even more questions and no answers in the first half of the story, or even, I don't know, the first fourth of the story, I feel like it would have lost a lot of its readers, because the ending of the first book was really frustrating, and I don't have that having to wait for a year for answers, because I waited for the release of the second book. I feel like so far, with the way that it is, slowly giving us a little bit more answers, and definitely a little bit more questions, it's keeping me invested in the story, because now I'm getting answers. I haven't read a lot, not because I'm not interested. I'm actually really, really curious about what the answers are going to be. It's just that, it's really busy. My brain isn't cooperating well with me right now. I've just been in sort of a fog, and I think I know the reason why, but not because of this book, because again, I'm super, super interested in finishing it. I really like where we are in the story and what has happened so far. We are literally in the middle of getting answers. Like right where I stopped, I'm at page, I don't know, 100 exactly? 114, 115. I have resorted to using text-to-speech with the ebook form, because the audiobook form is still not available in my library. There's still a 5-week wait. I mean, the text-to-speech is not bad, but it doesn't have any distinct voices for each of the characters, but it still works. I feel like because of, the perspective type and the way that it's written, the actual dialogues aren't very hard to discern, even if it's pretty robotic type of speaking. So I will continue reading this, and my goal is to finish this one tomorrow. Let's hope. But I'm really positive. I'm quite positive that I'm going to finish this tomorrow. The video that I filmed today just took way longer than I thought it would take. It took me, I think, 2.5 hours to film, but I'm actually really happy with that video. It took way longer today. I thought I'm gonna finish this today and start and finish another book tomorrow, but not the case. But still, I'm not mad about it. Again, it's partially just the busyness of this week, plus the busyness of each day, plus how long it took me to film that other video, which you guys have probably seen. I actually had to slowly turn my shelves back to the way they were. I still kept like my special editions, like the ones with the special edges out, because that's what I've been planning to do anyway, but I flipped them back, most of them back. I still have my 2 top shelves in my filming corner shelf setup type thing that I need to flip back, but majority of it I have flipped. But yeah, they're almost back to the same. I can't keep them that way. It gives me anxiety, and I feel like because I have bad memory, if I keep it that way, those are the books that I haven't read, so I'm gonna forget them even more than usual. Having them actually looking at me reminds me every day that I need to read them. That's it for my update right now. Hopefully tomorrow I'll finish. No, tomorrow I will finish it for sure. I will finish it. I'll update you guys then. Hello, it's Saturday night. I'm 160 pages through When Night Breaks. Still not much from my last update, but I mentioned then that we were getting answers right from the beginning, and we still are. Literally, we're still getting answers, but also even more questions. I have even more questions now. And now I'm really needing like the world building. And I don't know if I'm gonna get it, because from what we're learning, there's a lot of things that were kept hidden or just kept hidden. Like what we had in the first book was literally just a grain of rice in a whole sack in this entire world, in this entire story. So that grain, few pieces of grain in this entire sack that's it. That's all we get, and we're slowly getting more and more grains, but I feel like there's so much more. There's so much more, and I know now that there's an entire sack of things we still don't know, and I am afraid that we are not going to get the entirety of it, and I'm not going to end up liking this series. It's going to be very unsatisfactory, but I'm not even halfway through yet, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I want to finish this right now in this sitting that I'm doing, this reading session that I'm doing. I need to finish this, so let's see. Hello. Today is actually Sunday, but I was planning on finishing When Night Breaks last night, but my brain is just not cooperating with me, and I wasn't feeling like reading. I was too distracted. I'm halfway through, right? And we are getting answers, but a lot more questions are being raised, and I was I just needed some answers, just more answers than questions, really. And it just needed to be quick and fast. And I don't know, I think part of it is also because I have a hard time concentrating recently with reading. Partially, I think, because of how the pacing is, but also partially because I've been having a hard time concentrating on things. So I only finished one book this week, and 1.5 books this week, but we'll see how next week will go. It's going to be a little bit busier, even more, with work, because we're kind of catching up to do some stuff before we close by the end of the week. So yeah, let's see if I'm going to read a little bit more. I really want to, because I do have a lot of books I want to read, and I do want to finish this series as well. So yeah, that's my update this is my last update for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really trying to read, but the last few days I've just been having a hard time concentrating on no book that I've been reading. So yeah,